This is what you can look forward to on episode 31 of Skywalking Through Neverland.
Hi, I'm J.J. Abrams. I'm in London working on the new Star Wars movie. Otherwise, I'd be there with you today. I can't tell you what a thrill it's been over the past year, working with this incredible team, helping build these worlds, creatures, costumes, designs, seeing everything come to life. I can't wait for you to see it. So I'm sorry I can't be there with you at Star Wars weekend, but I've had a great time. Thank you, and the Force be with you.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls.
Ladies, listen!
A billion years in the making.
Welcome to Neverland.
What do you know?
You'll laugh, you'll cry, you'll kiss $3 goodbye.
Hey, Skywalkers. Welcome back to
Skywalking Through Neverland. This is Sarah, also known as Jedi Tink, and sitting right here with me is my husband.
Hey.
And this is Richard Woloski.
And we are coming to you a day late on May the 20th, 2015. Now, we're going to Star Wars weekends this coming weekend, so our schedules are all messed up.
Yeah, we definitely promised to have episodes out every week, but they're not necessarily going to be out on Monday.
And our next show, number 32, will be even later, coming on Wednesday, May 28th.
And that's so we can bring you all the Star Wars Weekends news and make sure it's all wrapped up in a nice little bow for you.
And our experiences at Star Wars weekend number 2.
Yeah, there's going to be a Rebel Force Radio meetup. We're going to meet up with so many people. I'm so
Fangirls
excited.
Going Rogue, our friends Tricia Barr and Teresa Delgado. Lots of people.
And plus new friends, I'm sure, that we're excited to meet.
And new exclusives.
Ooh, exclusives!
I know what you're saying, but we want to know what happened at weekend number 1.
Yes.
Well, we got you covered.
So on today's episode, we have special guest Tricia Barr from fangirlblog.com and Fangirls Going Rogue to tell us all about her experiences this last weekend number 1 of Star Wars Weekends, and then also give us some helpful hints for those who are going this year or any other year.
Also on today's show, we introduce another brand new segment by our East Coast correspondent and my childhood best friend, Jim Pruy. Jim takes a good hard look at a toy line from the 1970s that ripped off Star Wars called Zeroids. But if they were a ripoff, why did Kenner not win their copyright court case against the Zeroids? Well, listen to Jim Pruy's segment, Not Gonna Have It, and find out.
Also coming up on this episode, this was a good week for Star Wars on TV, because there were 3 shows that had Star Wars references on them. For some reason, we never look for shows with Disney references on them, because Disney, is permeating the culture. But when Star Wars references come up, we get really excited.
There really haven't been any Disney references lately that I can think of.
Well, Disney has its own, network. So everything on that network
That doesn't count.
I don't know. Considered ABC. But anyway, one show was an obvious one. The second show had references every now and then.
Hint? Luke's shorty robe.
And the third one has a reference maybe once a season. Hint, once a season. Did you catch them all? If not, we have the clips on today's show.
And as we said on our last show, we are starting a new giveaway.
Yay.
Where we will be bringing back with us an exclusive Star Wars weekend giveaway.
Item. Yeah.
An item giveaway.
Something.
It's all good.
Yeah, whatever we can get our hands on, because we know some things sell out. So we're just going to see what we can pick up, and that will be our giveaway item.
Yeah, we don't want to make any empty promises. A lot of people are really wanting that Ralph McQuarrie cell. Mm-hmm. Some people are wanting the latex Jawa.
And then there's that black trooper helmet.
The Black Hole Trooper.
Shadow. What is it called?
It's the Shadow Trooper, the Black Hole Trooper, which is a bank. A lot of people think it's a helmet.
Oh, no.
But it's a small bank.
Right. This giveaway will end on May 28th, and to enter, all you have to do is go to our Facebook page and click on the giveaway tab. So Skywalking Through Neverland Facebook page. And that's where you can find the giveaway tab. Click on it, and it'll give you all the information about what to do.
And one lucky winner will win something from Darth Maul, or the Tatooine Traitor.
Darth Maul, I'm so excited about this.
Yeah, me too. We got to bring an extra suitcase.
Yes, we do. Because Richard, we're getting a lot of stuff from the Her Universe booth in Darth Small.
Thanks, Ashley.
I hope you know
Thanks
this.
a lot.
Thank you very much.
Now, the one thing that we never really seem to do when we're at Disney World or Land is get character pictures.
Unless it's like very convenient, like we're the first ones in line.
We're walking by and someone's standing right there. We'll
like
get it.
A character just comes out or something.
Right.
Yeah.
But Disney World has got so many Star Wars characters walking around.
Yeah, for Star Wars weekends.
Yeah, the Asajj Ventress looks fantastic. I definitely want a picture with her.
Ahsoka Tano.
Ahsoka.
And then I want all the Disney characters that are dressed as the Star Wars characters.
Yeah, those
Like
are very, very cute.
Chip and Dale as Ewoks. I mean, you can't say no to that.
Yeah, we'll be standing all day in line because some of those characters, if you don't get them there, you're not going to get them because we don't have them over here. Thanks, Disneyland.
Except for one time where they had Mickey and Minnie.
Right, that was a special occasion.
That was a special, yeah.
Well, you know what? If we don't get the Star Wars characters, you can always go in line once again for Elsa and Anna.
Yes.
It's a good thing you got your pictures last February when we were there, because they're doing something very, very different now with these Frozen characters. Mm-hmm. Now, we saw this come across the MainStreetMouse.com that, according to cast members, the rope drop hasn't been the same since Elsa and Anna hit the scene.
Now, what they mean by rope drop is in the morning when people first come in.
Yeah, there's a rope to hold everyone back, and when the rope drops, they all go running. They go running for Elsa and Anna because they know if they don't get there now, there's going to be a 5-hour wait.
Yeah, well, 200-minute wait. Yeah, it gets up really quickly.
Yeah, and when you're in that Florida sun, 3 minutes is going to be depressing.
Too much. Yeah.
So now they're going to be herding people like sheep.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the demand for Anna and Elsa is so high that they've actually had to change what they do every morning at Magic Kingdom.
So when the gates open, you got to walk behind the rope as they guide you all the way over to Princess Fairy Tale Hall so you can get in line.
Yeah.
Whereas before, the rope would be dropped and people would make a mad dash. And people were getting hurt.
Yeah.
They were running through gift shops just to take shortcuts and they were knocking stuff over. Mm-hmm. So now, luckily they've done something about it.
Yeah. You know what I think they should do? They should change it up so that like they did at the Disney store where we're waiting in line to get to be the 100 people to get that pin on May the 4th. Right. They should do that. They should have people who want to see Elsa and Anna line up before the park opens, give them a ticket with a number on it.
So if you already saw Elsa and Anna, you were thinking
Congrats.
ahead. So if you haven't gotten your pictures with Elsa and Anna, there's something called Photoshop. There's literally no waiting.
Yep. That's funny. So this next news story comes to us from KTLA.com and Twitter and Facebook, and lots of people complaining because the happiest place on earth just became the most expensive place on earth on Sunday, May 18th, when the Disneyland ticket prices were raised in Anaheim.
Again?
Yeah, without warning this time, too.
They just went up last year.
Yeah, they went up last year and the year before that. Remember that?
The year before that and the year before that.
Yeah.
What are they, some kind of empire? What is this, a business?
I know. You know what? The park is always so crowded. They can. You know?
I know. We've tried to protest the last couple of years saying we're not going to get annual passes.
We did?
Yes,
Maybe
we did.
you did in your head.
Yeah, and then 30 minutes later, we're at the Disneyland box office.
Yeah, pretty much. Well, in the past couple years, they usually announced it on their blog like a day or two early, which allowed for people to go and scramble and buy tickets. But this time, nope. They did not do that.
People who got to Disneyland on Sunday had a very big surprise waiting for them.
Yeah, and it was
surprise they didn't want.
It was Bats Day on Sunday, too.
So what did the prices go up to?
Well, various ticket prices went up a little bit. So a one-day, one-park ticket went up from $92 to $96. So what is that, $5?
$4.
$4.
It might break the bank, but still.
Well, it's reaching the point where it's going to be over $100 a day for a one-day, one-park ticket, and that'll be like a historic moment. Now a one-day park hopper ticket went from $137 to $150, and
How about the kids' prices?
kids went one day, one park went from $86 to $90, so they also raised $4.
Not too bad.
Yeah. And on the one day park hopper from $131 to $144. Now that across the board, our ticket price, the premium annual pass, went up $30.
Oh,
Yeah, it's now
$30?
It's now at $699.
Eek.
Yeah, for a year. But
That's the price of a bottle of water at Disneyland.
that's why we bring our own water. Now, just one of the main changes, actually, the most notable change, is that Disneyland has now suspended its SoCal annual passport. So, yeah, it was a lower priced option for people that lived, in certain zip codes around Disneyland.
They're not going to be too popular this year.
No, and that was the lowest priced option that allowed pass holders to come into the park on Sundays, not Saturdays, but Sundays. So that is totally not being sold anymore. And as of Monday, Disney's website said that the pass was not available for purchase, leaving those who wanted to buy an annual passport to decide between the more expensive option that allows the weekend access, which is our pass, and then a cheaper pass, which does not. So
maybe we can do a Star Wars Universal City podcast? I'm kidding.
No,
I'm
not
kidding.
gonna happen.
No. We'll still buy into it.
Yeah. But, so yeah, that was the main news. Now, of course, this Disneyland price increase comes just ahead of Memorial Day weekend and the summer.
Oh, someone over there was thinking.
Well, yeah. And historically, the prices have been raised in like June or May, right before the summer. So the new prices went into effect just 5 days before Disneyland's Rock Your Disney Side event on Friday, which, the park will be open for 24 consecutive hours from 6 a.m. on May 23rd.
That's going to be their big draw because we went the last couple of years and the place was just mobbed.
Yeah. Now, if you're planning ahead and you've already bought your tickets for that, well, you're good. And in fact, this year we kind of squeaked by with the ticket price increases.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, because Disney World tickets went up February 23rd, and we had already bought our pass for that before our trip on the 22nd. So,
oh, wow.
On February. Yeah. So we just squeaked
nice
by.
Going. Air high five.
So, yeah. We were smart this year. Of course, next year when we have to buy our tickets, well.
But then again, you have a lot of Disney dollar points.
Yeah.
So that really helps.
Yeah. My credit card, I have a Disney credit card, and I save up those points yearly. And so that pretty much buys at least probably one annual pass.
So there's some good tips there. Mm-hmm. Get a Disney credit card.
Yeah. Now, next week, we're excited to be bringing on Dave Parfit from adventuresbydaddy.com, the blog that we actually write for occasionally. And it's a great site for travel and vacations, and they cover a lot of things Disney and Universal and all the big,
pretty much anything
the big
family
parks.
oriented.
Yeah,
they
absolutely.
review family movies and family places to go on vacation. Mm-hmm. And next week he's going to be here talking about the new ride at the Magic Kingdom, the Seven Dwarfs Mine Train ride that officially opens on May the 28th.
Yep, of course.
That's the day after we leave.
Yeah. Really?
So we're leaving Orlando on the 27th, and this opens the 28th. Mm-hmm. Come on.
Hopefully they'll have some soft openings, and we may be able to ride it. But we'll be in Hollywood Studios like the whole time. So
now, when we were talking to Dave, I asked him, why is Disney focusing on a Snow White attraction instead of something more current, like maybe a ride based on Elsa or Rapunzel? Well, Dave does go into that. But we were curious to see what were the most popular princesses. Because I didn't think Snow White would have been up there. But Apparently she is.
Oh, yeah.
We did a little digging and found this on shine.yahoo.com. They ranked the Disney princesses based on how much money each made through the resale of their Disney merchandise, like dolls and t-shirts and costumes on eBay, going from May 2013 until now.
Wow, so like a whole year. That's a good idea.
Yeah, so these are the top 5 princesses.
Okay.
So, number 1.
Well, should we start with number 5?
Let's.
I think we should start with number 5.
All right, fine.
All right, number 5 is Ariel with 1.5 million in sales. That's interesting.
Number 4, Anna from Frozen.
Really?
2.1. That's pretty good.
2.1 million?
$2.1. That's all she made. $2.
Well, I'm just clarifying. That's my job. You know what? I think Anna is that high because people couldn't get the Elsa stuff, so they bought the Anna stuff instead.
I think you're right.
Yeah.
Ironically, Elsa, number 99.
What?
Just kidding. Well, anyway, so Snow White, oddly enough, number 3 with 2.3 million. I just wouldn't think she would be as high up as she was.
Me either.
Now I can see more of the current day princesses, but Snow White, maybe she's got more appeal than I thought.
Or I think Disney just pushes her too.
Number 2, Cinderella with 2.5 million.
I can see that.
Cinderella, yeah.
She's very popular, just the quintessential princess.
Their number 1 choice, which is Elsa, of course.
Of course.
At $3.4 million in merchandise sales.
And that is starting from not even the whole year of May 2013, really, because the movie didn't come out until November.
Oh, that's very true.
Very
very true.
That's like insane. And you know what? I think there would be even more merchandise sales for Elsa if Disney had enough merchandise to give out, because that merchandise has been sold out forever. I mean, we've been trying to get that Elsa crown for how many months now?
Since November.
Yeah.
That's like 6 months, 7 months?
Yeah, we haven't been able to find it anywhere. Well, I'm kind of surprised Elsa has been very popular even now coming into the summer, because to me, she's kind of a winter princess.
Yeah, boy, this girl has got staying power. Mm-hmm. Now, coming in at number 6, I got to give her a shout out because this is your favorite.
Yeah.
Rapunzel.
Oh, yay.
Now, Rapunzel has about 600,000.
Oh, that's it? She's really dropped off. I'm very sad about this because she was so popular when the movie first came out.
I would almost want to say, well, her movie is 4 years old. But then again, Snow White.
75 plus years old?
Yeah.
So. Wow. That was a very interesting list of popular princesses.
Next year, I'm sure Leia will make the list.
Yeah. Go Leia.
Mark Hamill.
Red 5 standing by.
I'll take that as a yes. Harrison Ford.
Yahoo!
Glad to see your enthusiasm, Harrison. Carrie Fisher.
We did it!
Looking good, Carrie. A few more pounds and we'll get you back into that slave bikini. Anthony Daniels, Kenny Baker, and Peter Mayhew.
Over here!
Glad to see you're all in character. Denis Lawson. Denis Lawson. Has anyone seen Denis Lawson?
Yeah, Dennis decided not to be in the biggest movie of all time because it would have just bored him.
Okay, then I'll just cross him off the list, and I guess he'll just be remembered for his other films, like... Has anyone ever seen any of his other films?
No.
I guess being Ewan McGregor's nephew keeps him plenty excited. Billy D. Williams.
That's right. Denis Lawson, a.k.a. Wedge, Mr. Full of Himself Antilles, turned down a role in Episode VII.
Who turns down a role?
Well, apparently Denis Lawson.
He
says, they asked me, but it just would have bored me. Really? Really? What, it would have bored you?
I think that calls for another really? My goodness.
He had said previously that he would return if the role of Wedge was beefed up. Now, he had, 11 minutes of collective screen time in the original trilogy?
Wow.
Maybe if they gave him 12 minutes? Well, if they gave him 12 minutes in this new trilogy, he'd only want 20 for the next trilogy.
Of course.
So let's nip this right in the bud. Well, it sounds like the cult of Wedge is really catching up to him now that he's had the X-Wing Squadron books, novels.
Rogue Squadron books. I wonder if he goes to conventions and signs a bunch of those. Or...
I've never seen him at a convention.
No, I haven't either.
Yeah, he got his own action figure, so I think maybe all this is going to his head, or maybe he's holding out for the fan-proposed X-Wing Squadron TV series.
Oh, there you go.
Is that beef enough for you? Well, maybe if Garrick Hagan, who plays Biggs Darklighter, if he returns as an X-Wing pilot ghost, then maybe then he'll rethink his decision, the decision which landed him in a spot on Skywalking Through Neverland this week in Great Career Moves. Seriously?
Really?
Be our guest, put our service to the test. Tie your napkin on your necessary and we'll provide the rest. Soup is your hot hors d'oeuvres.
We have been counting down the days to Star Wars weekends for the last few months on Skywalking Through Neverland. And now, Richard, it's finally here. It's finally here. And Disney's Hollywood Studios kicked off a Star Wars summer just last weekend, May 16th through 18th.
Our good friend from fangirlblog.com and gold medal winner in the Independent Publisher Book Awards for her novel Wind, Tricia Barr, is here with us since she was lucky enough to attend the opening weekend.
Hi, Tricia.
Hey,
guys.
Hi, we want to hear all about your amazing time at Star Wars Weekends Weekend 1.
It was definitely amazing. One of my favorite Star Wars weekends, and I've had a lot of fun at Star Wars weekends. So, in for a blast, you guys will be.
So this isn't your first time at Star Wars weekends.
No, I'm a Florida girl, so it's down the road, not too far. A little between 2 and 3 hours, depending on the traffic on Osceola Parkway. So, yes, I've been quite a few times in between Teresa Delgado, my co-host on Fangirls Going Rogue. We've been more times than we would probably care to admit, but yes.
So does this year differ from any other?
Totally. Obviously, Disney now owns Star Wars. So previously, they were paying for the rights to use Star Wars. And so they, sometimes there were things, Hyperspace Hoopla, which was very popular with people, was really cool, but it got to the point where it was a little bit of spoofing on Star Wars at times. So, that wasn't there this year. It had much more of the closing ceremonies in the evening was more to celebrate, to remind people who the heroes of the saga were, who the new heroes were for Rebels, and who kind of the characters are. And it was very much a celebration and a promotion of Star Wars. So a little bit different of a vibe, for the better, I think.
Okay.
Not that I didn't enjoy it, but definitely a different vibe.
So Disney snuck in some advertising? That doesn't sound like the Disney I know. So it sounds like that we are really picking a good year to go, Sarah.
Yeah.
Because we were going to go last year, then we thought, let's go this year instead. And judging by what you just said, it looks like we gambled right. Now,
I think so. And even in I thought in all of the shows, they were doing a good job of laying out and reminding people what the original trilogy was and who the characters were and sort of the story. So there were people there who weren't quite as familiar with Star Wars, and they were getting a little bit more of a taste and reminder of what the movies were.
101 course for them?
Mm-hmm.
This is a good year because it's the introduction of a brand new Star Wars show.
Yeah.
So enhances the fun.
And the Behind the Force show hosted by Ashley Eckstein was phenomenal. And it's always been really fun to see the Clone Wars stuff. We used to see sneak peeks and this time it was Rebels, and they introduced us to all of the characters and the voice actors. And Vanessa Marshall was there, who's the voice of Hera Syndulla. She was fantastic. And then we got to see sort of Dave Filoni do a little gabbing about his team and what they were working on. And there was some fun with Chopper, who made the trip from California to Orlando. Oh. And we got to see a clip of the show. It was about 2 minutes, a little longer. And I've been told that every week the clip will be different depending on who the actor is. So
I heard you tweet about, or I saw you tweet about that. I was very excited.
Yes, it was cool. So, Vanessa Marshall was there. So we got to see Hera and Kanan and Chopper. And you know how they talk about Chopper as Dave Filoni said, he's the cat of Star Wars. Mm-hmm. And he definitely is. He has a mind of his own. And it's a very classic scene, very much reminds you of A New Hope with sort of the banter of Empire Strikes Back between Han and Leia vibe. And Chopper sort of doing his own thing. And I'm sure they'll release all this stuff. They were reminding people not to video. This was an exclusive for the events. And, but I think this will come out eventually and people are just the colors, the look, everything was amazing. And my big tweet was there was definitely a lean in from Kanan to Hera at Chopper Interrupted. So
nice.
I got the romance vibe. I think I talked about that before. I was thinking that there might be, and I definitely got that vibe again. Maybe that nobody else on the Ghost knows what's going on, but I think Chopper might know what's going on.
Well, it's great knowing that there's going to be exclusive clips. Now, at any point, did Chopper meow?
No, he didn't meow, but he does a lot of talking. He's a very talkative fellow.
Because, at some point, they're going to slip in some meow, seeing how Dave Filoni keeps calling him the cat.
Yeah, and remember he had the Tuca was his cat alien on the Clone Wars, so he's definitely working the cat angle here. But it was very fun. The footage just had that great vibe of just reminded you of the way some of the shots from the original trilogy.
Oh, I think I'm in love already.
Yeah, just knowing that Chopper is very McQuarrie-esque really, really excites me. It's very nostalgic.
He uses it's a little bit of an angle we don't see with R2-D2, and that those little arms become a way for him to emote and sort of express his victory. And so that was cool for that for that show.
Nice. Now, being so involved in the fan community like you are, did that put any pressure on you to have to see everything in order to be in the know?
No, I wanted to see it. So there's a lot to do. I definitely the Stars of the Saga show has always been one of my favorites because of the Stormtrooper pre-show, and they knocked it out of the park this year. So that's a show. Obviously, Rebels, I recommend the Behind the Force just because it's fun to see new stuff. But when they talk to the stars from the movies, this was a Mod Best first trip to Star Wars weekends. So he got his ears, as did Vanessa Marshall, and that was fun. And they celebrated Peter Mayhew's birthday a day early, which was so sweet.
Yeah,
and
saw some of the footage of that. Looked so fun.
And you were there, right?
Yes, I was there. I was very lucky. I was up close and got to see it all. And James Arnold Taylor's daughter was right in front of me, and she was so funny. She was up dancing and celebrating and cheering. So that was fun.
Was that your favorite moment of the whole weekend?
No, actually, my favorite moment was the Stormtroopers singing "Let It Go."
We've got to find that footage.
It's around. I actually didn't click on it to play it, but I know it's on my computer, ready to go.
Amy, I know Inside the Magic, I think, has it.
Yes.
But yeah, it's definitely worth it. Just that whole thing, their little skit is so funny. But the other thing I thought they did really well, the Stormtroopers interact with the crowd when they're walking around in the park. You can interact with the Jawas. You can actually trade with them. so if you have like a little something in your pocket, like a little collector, some figure or something, they'll trade pins if you're into pin collecting. I don't know if you're into that. And I don't know what else they trade, but I know they do that. And I'm trying to think.
How about overdue bills or IOUs?
Yeah, IOUs.
Those?
I'm sure if you had a droid, they'd trade you big time.
Are the Jawas pulling like a little sand crawler full of goodies?
They have stuff in their pockets, and I heard if you go up and say, I didn't get to do it, but I've heard that if you go up and say, "Ooh, teeny," they will shout back at you. So,
oh, fun.
Oh, write that down.
One of the other fun things I saw that was really cute was that, there's a crazy bunch of kids doing Jedi Training Academy. There's this teeny wee little kid, and he just couldn't get the the motions, but he wasn't afraid of Darth Vader. He's like, swing from the right, and the little kid just like swings from the left, and he's like, all right, improvise. And then he's like, so the kid just starts like bashing on Darth Vader, but he put his lightsaber out and blocked him, but the kid's like whang whang whang.
Oh
whang,
my goodness.
And the guy was just like cracking up. He's like, okay. He goes, you're awesome. And the kid's like, yeah. Like, it was funny. He didn't get him with this lightsaber, but it was just funny to watch him smack down on Darth Vader's lightsaber like that. He's like, I'm gonna get him.
Yeah. And then meanwhile, the same actor saying, you know what, kid? I know what you look like. You don't know what I look like.
Yeah, I noticed
you.
that the Darth Vaders in the Jedi Training Academy are short, so they don't look as big as Darth Vader really is. Probably because of the kids. Probably because if he was too tall, he'd get smacked with a lightsaber one too many times. But
this is once again our first time, so it's good hearing about all these tips that you and Teresa have been giving out on your
Fangirls Going
Rogue and on StarWars.com. So this is really great for us. Now, did you have to wait in line at like 3 a.m. for anything?
I got Vanessa Marshall's autograph. I went over about 6:30, got in line, no problem, for a morning autograph.
Oh.
I would say that the Rebels actors are going to be easier just because right now it's sort of a new thing. So the people who were there were really a lot of autograph collectors, and I heard that Ahmad Best, he's obviously never been there before, and so his line was humongous all 3 days.
Good. I was just going to ask you. I hope his line was really big, and I'm glad you just said that it was.
Yes, it was. I didn't know this. He was in the musical group Stomp, the performing group.
Yeah.
And he had Vanessa Marshall and James Honor Taylor actually do percussion with him and did a little performance on stage, which was really incredible to see how talented he is. He's just a genuinely nice guy. And he wasn't even supposed to be the voice of Jar Jar. They were getting people to audition, and he asked for the chance. He was hired to do the physicality of the character. So
just like Ray Park was just hired to do the stunt work for Darth Maul, and he was gunning for that role, and Lucas said, do the whole thing.
Absolutely. And that's kind of cool that, he's a huge super duper Star Wars fan. And, you see that from everybody. Peter Mayhew's a huge Star Wars fan as well. And it was so nice to see him up on stage. He's really still struggling with mobility. That was obvious from anytime he was on the stage. He had to work to stand up. So it'll be interesting to see how much he really gets to do in the movie, even though he's part of it, because it was obvious that he was struggling with just standing up.
So you didn't really see him walk.
He walked onto stage. He used his, his lightsaber cane, and when he went in and he sat down, and then he stood up and did it was really cool moment where he stood up and did the Wookiee kind of roar with his hands up. But that was definitely, he had to work for that. So that's not with a costume or in the moment.
Well, Chewbacca is 30 years older. Maybe in those 30 years, they do develop arthritis, so he would have a cane.
Yeah, well, and it might be scenes in a cockpit or something that he gets to do. So really, it's the kind of the tilt of the head and the eyes that make the character, I think, and just the noise. So it was really nice to see. He's turning 70, so it was today he turned 70. So so that was nice to to be able to see him, and I thought they did a really good job of presenting all the characters really well. And the guy who was in costume as Chewbacca got to come out for the birthday party, and he was so excited to be with Peter Mayhew. It was great.
Oh yeah, talk about a dream come true. My goodness.
Yeah. Yeah, I was going to ask you, did you see all the shows, and did you see them multiple times? And do you recommend that?
Yeah, I saw the Behind the Force all 3 times. So it was a little different each time. They get to work on it. I saw the start of the saga once. If you don't have a fast pass, then you're going to be waiting in line a lot if you want to see the shows more than a couple times. Another thing I really recommend is to definitely go to the morning opening ceremonies. If you're going to be there anyway to get in autograph lines. The other Ashley Eckstein and James Arnold Taylor's lines were very doable too, to get there, 6:30 and get in their line. And then the other thing is for some of them, if you don't get there first thing in the morning, you can go and get in the standby line. So, again, James and Ashley and probably the Rebels actors will be a little bit more accessible to do that way if you don't go first thing in the morning. But, go see the opening ceremonies. It's like 7:30, they start letting people in, and then you gather in Main Street, and then the stormtroopers come out and they do a little skit. And then I had some friends there, and you just can get into like Toy Story and all that stuff. And a lot of people got on Toy Story, got on Rock and Roller Coaster Tower of Terror with very minimal weight, and got all those big rides out of the way. By 9:00 they were done with their major rides, and that really helps free up the rest of your day.
Nice.
Did you get a chance to hang out with any of the Star Wars celebrities?
Vanessa Marshall took a few of us on a couple rides, and her handler that she went on Toy Story with us, and the girl lays down a 209,000.
Holy buckets!
Yeah, so she got the score of the hour. I was like, oh my gosh, because I get to do this twice a week. So,
well, I can personally say I am deeply jealous.
I am deeply jealous because I've still yet to break 100. So and I can write about people who can shoot and stuff, but I can't do it. So at least not with Toy Story stuff. There's a lot of missing.
I don't care what score I get. I just want to beat Sarah once.
Oh, are you good?
Yeah, well, I'm better than him.
She's unusually oddly good. I don't know how she's a good shot.
Yeah, I really don't know either, but
she kicks my butt, and I'm really trying.
Is that like on Buzz Lightyear too? Like she's
yes.
Pretty much anything. I'm trying. I'm breaking a sweat, and she's just going la 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 la, and she still wins.
I was doing Buzz Lightyear with my 4-year-old niece, and she grabs a little handle, and she's like, because she's like, you're not aiming us right. And I'm like, okay, then.
Oh, that's so cute. Oh.
Now, Florida is known for being really hot and having a torrential downpour pretty much at the drop of a dime. On a scale of Tatooine to Camino, how hot and rainy was it last weekend?
I'm going to tell you, it was the most perfect, beautiful weather.
Wow.
Even the cast members said that. They couldn't believe how perfect and beautiful it was. So there you have it. But I've checked the weather. It is supposed to be in the 90s this weekend.
Oh, blah.
Being a Floridian, is there anything you can do to change that?
I've been talking to the weather gods, and no, it's Florida. When it's in the 90s, be prepared for rain, which isn't a bad thing because that clears out the
that's true,
the park. And here's the advantage. I got stuck on Star Tours. It was lightning and thundering, and so what they did was nobody was coming to the ride, and they didn't want anybody to leave the ride. They told us we could at our own risk. But they said we were more than welcome to cycle back through. So I rode Star Tours one time, I think 7 times in a row in about a 30-minute period. And they just kept letting us through the back doors because it really was horrible weather. Some of the other cool things, just to, if you start early in the day and it's that hot, you've got to take a break.
Yes. Yeah. What is a good time to take a break?
Well, if you're not going to see all the shows, then in the heat of the day, the shows are in the heat of the day. If not, consider going home, like at dinner for dinner time. Have dinner, back at your hotel, catch up, and then come back and definitely see the fireworks.
Yes.
And the show. People started lining up on Main Street to see the big screen at about an hour out of the of that show. So
there's a show. Is there a show right before the fireworks?
Yes, James Arnold Taylor does a closing ceremony. So he comes out, and here's another little trick. If you hashtag SWW 2014 is your Star Wars weekends, and if you have a cool shot that you want to share, it's SWW finale, and that those tweets, they go through and put up the best pictures on the screen at the end.
Okay.
And I know that Teresa got one of ours was up. So Teresa and I were on the big screen one time. I missed it. And then Teresa was on again. So that's a little trick. So if you have a good image, but the fireworks you can see from anywhere really well. I stood over in Echo Lake, and it's a great view from over there. You don't have to be looking up at the hat.
Okay.
They pipe the music from everywhere, and so they'll close down the back around the Toy Story area. And then the other thing, obviously everybody wants to shop. Mm-hmm. And the Darth Maul is back over by Toy Story, and the line is there is a line. So don't be thinking you could just go shop and you'll be able to get in. I didn't experience that until that's another time. Dinner time is the one good time to go in the mall and shop. Friday is not a good day typically because everybody's getting there wanting to get their stuff. Her universe stuff was starting to run out of the Ewok tops, and there was something else that was really popular, but the Han Solo dresses I think will go by week 3 would be my guess.
I want one of those.
Yeah.
I gotta thank Ashley. Thank you very much for all the exclusives. Really, you couldn't space them out.
Space them out. Yeah, well, those stuff, it all comes out later on. But I saw the cutest thing as, there weren't any of the little girls her universe stuff this year, but they did. The R2 shirt was printed in a smaller shirt, which I saw a lot of little girls getting. And then I saw the cutest thing. The little girls were putting on the Ewok tanks, but making them into dresses.
Aww. That is cute.
Remember when you were a kid and you opened up the Sears catalog and you'd say, I want this, I want this, I want this. That was Sarah a couple days ago. She saw all that new exclusives. Mm-hmm. I want this and I want this and I want this. And it's like, hold on, let me pull some extra overtime.
Well, definitely the skirt, the Han Solo dress is really comfortable. It looks really cute. I would recommend, this is my recommendation, to wear leggings if you want to wear one of the dress. It just makes it more comfortable, and you don't worry about the wind gusts or whatever else.
Yeah.
And then the Ewok tank is really cute and really comfortable, and it was really flattering. I was kind of like, ooh, I don't know if I'm going to look good in that, and I put it on. I'm like, oh wow, this is really cute. And then everything else is, it's all really nice stuff. So the leggings were great, but the store you just go in and you're just like, oh, there's an exclusive Rebels shirt that isn't in her universe. It's like kind of in another part that's not a her universe, but there is a girls and there is a boys version of it. There is a long sleeve and a short sleeve kind of burnout. I got the burnout. It looks great. So that's another thing. And then, there was just literally gazillion other things in there.
How many exclusives did you walk home with?
Not that I'm not a big exclusive person, but I saw people who were, they told me which I thought was really cool, the DTech line, they had a lot of different people, in the different versions, and they have a small version and a big version. Apparently a man got scanned and he got the 16-inch version of the X-Wing pilot and of himself as Princess Leia and as a stormtrooper. So I'm very impressed with that gentleman. I want to meet him.
That's right, sir. Never stop being yourself.
That's funny. Now, I have a question, actually. Can adults wear costumes?
Ooh.
Yes.
They can. Okay.
Yeah, I think the only thing is you're not supposed to sign anything.
Right.
If you're, obviously the people who are trooping with the 501st and the Rebel Legion are there in costumes, and costumes can be hot. So
yes.
But I saw quite a few Padmes, and Padme, typically the arena scene Padme, and then quite a few Princess Leias, and I saw X-Wing pilots, which the one young gentleman I said, Force bless him for being Wedge in that's a hot outfit
a hot topic this week.
Yeah, that too.
And yeah, so there were people in costumes, and that was fun. And then, you've heard of Disney bounding, right?
Yes, I have.
Yeah, there were a lot of people who were, and I saw this in Matt Martin's tweet, and he was exactly right. They were Star Wars bounding. So I saw people kind of shake it up. So they had on clothes that obviously were designed to give you the impression that they were, being part of it, but without looking overtly Star Wars. So, which was there was one girl I was just like totally in love with her outfit. She had these Star Wars leggings on and kind of a tank, and she had looked like a breather, and then she had these kind of high sneakers, and I was like, oh, and I love her hair. It was pink and platinum blonde, and I was like, wow, that's totally like Star Wars bounding. And I'm like, I totally dig her outfit, and she stops and looks at me, and I had the Han Solo dress on, and she goes, I totally want your dress. And I'm like, okay, so can we trade clothes? Because I want your clothes.
That's funny. So let's say if I wanted to go as Jedi Tink for like a half a day, you think they'd allow me to do that?
Oh yeah, there's definitely people dressed up. They're not stopping anybody from doing that. My personal recommendation is to take a change of clothes. You're going to want to change your clothes. So it doesn't matter if you're in costume or not. It's just one of those things. You start going, oh wow, I've been walking a lot and moving around a lot, and it's hot, and I don't want to smell my clothes anymore.
Especially if you're wearing wings.
Yeah, the wings can be kind of a pain sometimes.
Yeah, because who'll have to carry them after about 2 hours.
I know. Well, okay, so that's good to know that people can wear costumes. Yay. Was there a long wait for Star Tours?
Star Tours was never really crazy long, so that's
really?
Nice. No, it just that ride moves people really fast anyway. So, it was like, I think 30 minutes was the longest I ever saw it. And it was fun to ride with crazy, well, you definitely ride Star Wars at the end of the day with drunk Star Wars fans, because that's funny.
Wait a minute, hold on. You can drink at Hollywood Studios?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's the Stormtrooper cups was vodka or margaritas or something.
Oh, partay.
Yeah, so there's a couple places where you can get them, but yeah, there was definitely some group of punch drunk Star Wars fans on the ride. So they were quite funny, because when Vader comes out and he's like, I'm going to get the rebel spy, and he's pulling, and they're like, no man, no. And they're like smack talking him. So it was cute.
This changes everything.
Yeah, definitely ride it in the evening when everybody's getting a little, and there was a mom and a dad behind us with their little kid, and she was she was humming the Star Wars song, but then I realized after she wrote it, she'd never been on Star Tours, and she didn't really know a lot about Star Wars other than they had just shown her the original trilogy. So she was, musically inclined and had picked up the tune. So I was like really impressed, because she's like, dun, 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 dun. And then they're like, no, this is her first time. She doesn't really know what Star Wars is. I'm like, hey, yeah. Wow. Another fangirl in the making.
And the rest of her life will change dramatically.
Let's hope so, for the better.
Yay.
You and Tricia just released an episode of Fangirls Going Rogue, and as well as the blog on StarWars.com that told us about the best tips for going to Star Wars weekend. What would you consider to be the 3 most helpful hints?
The 3 most helpful is to plan, to have a plan, and then to be willing, as I said, do Han Solo improvise on that plan. So, things will pop up that you weren't expecting. You start to figure out, they start ushering people in certain directions. So, it's like you're all the baby banthas getting herded in one direction. You're like, wait, what's going on? And, then you start to figure it out. So plan, stay healthy, which is so important. Drink water and eat, and plan to take breaks, because when the sun hits you, you don't realize, like, all of a sudden you're like, oh my gosh, I'm so hot and tired. And then I'm trying to think, what's the most important tip?
Sunscreen?
Yeah, that's part of the be healthy. Sunscreen, and I would say hat. I know that a lot of people are like, they want to, most important thing is to protect yourself. And so, at some point you're going to want to protect your face. So I wear like a 30 sunscreen. That's normal for me living in Florida. And I definitely I can tell when I've had too much sun. And even with the 30 sunscreen on, at one point I realized that I had gotten sun during the day. So I put my hat on, but you need, most people don't realize that they're starting to get the sunburn until it's too late. And you see a lot of people walking around with the, with the back of their arms or, someplace. So, if your hotel has a pool, go back and take a dip in the pool and chill out, and have a backpack with a bottle of water. That's so important to always have a bottle of water.
Okay.
And bring plenty of credit cards. Thank you, Ashley.
It's not just Ashley; it's Dizzy in general. But yes, and then some of the fun things that that you'll remember the most are the little personal times. So if you can get to the autograph lines, those are special memories that you can have. To have Ashley sign stuff, you have to have bought something at her universe to do the inside line at the store. So that's just something to think about. So I had a lot of fun. She signed my Han Solo dress, but I got to give her my book, which has a dedication in the back to her. So, so that was fun. So I get to do that. So, that's kind of the fun memories. And I'm not a big autograph person, but I know some of my friends who like Star Wars and like some of the characters. So I took things for my friends and got them signed for friends. So but it gave me a chance to meet the actors and just say hello. And
was Ashley's husband David there too?
Yeah, well, if you're a baseball fan too, David is there in the store a lot. So. Right. Yeah, so he's so nice. That was fun. Yeah, it's funny because he's standing there, and you'll see somebody walk up there like, "Can I take your picture?" And he's not there obviously as a celebrity, but it was always funny to see who recognized him and who knows who he is, because people are like,
Yeah, at Kamikaze, Sarah and Ashley were talking, so he turned to me and started talking about sports, and I said, I know nothing about baseball. I know nothing about sports.
Poor guy. He's probably used to trying to do that.
He talks to me about traffic signals, which is always fun. He has this thing, and it's totally, I think, his baseball brain, but the timing of the signals, and he figured out just how you can drive a certain speed and get through and so he wanted to make, let me know that, we were talking about that.
All right, Tricia, well, thank you once again for your time. We really, really appreciate it. I think we are now fully prepared for Star Wars Weekends, weekend number 2, and we can't wait to meet you there.
Same here.
There was a funny spec commercial for Star Wars Weekends that was buzzing around last week. We caught it on Gizmodo.com. It was directed by Bruce Bannett, or Branny, A-N-I-T.
Sure.
Granite. Anyway, he's a visual effects artist who worked on TV series like Lost and Breaking Bad. Well, he made a spec ad, which means it's made for his own portfolio to use as a sample for his work, not for the actual Disney company. Well, in this 45-second ad, a man gives his wife or girlfriend, they don't really specify, all these nice expensive gifts. Then she just gives him a pair of Star Wars boxers. Well, he's happy, but seriously, that's it? Just a pair of boxers? She walks outside where she has another gift for him. The front door opens, and there sitting in the cul-de-sac is the Millennium Falcon.
Nice.
Here is the commercial.
I know.
Now, when I saw this commercial, I thought of an art project that we had done when you were at the Art Institute.
Yeah. Yeah, in fact, I had to put together one of my first little movies. And, well, you being the idea man, I went to you, what should I do? What should I do? And we decided we had to put in product placement in this video. That was like the main goal of it. And so I was like, well, let's not do one product placement. Let's do a whole bunch of Star Wars stuff. So if you're watching the video version, you'll be able to see our Millennium Falcon ad over what we're talking about right now. So the video has a ton of Star Wars things in it from, our sheets.
Here you are getting ready for work in the morning.
Yes.
You have your Star Wars mug.
And my sheets.
The sheets.
And the phone and everything. And I'm waiting for someone to pick me up to carpool to work.
Because when you're in LA, you gotta carpool.
Exactly. So when I finally walked outside, it's the Millennium Falcon.
Not just any Millennium Falcon.
No?
No, we used the 1978 Kenner toy. So with a little trick photography, Sarah was seen walking up the plank to the Millennium Falcon.
Into the ship.
And the Millennium Falcon takes off.
Yeah, it was cute.
It was funny.
It was cute. And keep in mind, this is one of my first video projects.
It was made to look very campy.
Mm-hmm.
Because the Millennium Falcon was like on one block and Sarah was like another block down the street just to get that forced perspective.
But it worked.
It worked. I thought it worked great.
I thought it was cool.
Walked up these little makeshift stairs and definitely worth hopping over there to YouTube to watch it.
Yeah.
Wait to see Sarah boarding the Millennium Falcon.
It's pretty cute. It's that time in the podcast. We wanted to give a few shout outs today. I wanted to give a shout out to Jay Roney on iTunes. He gave us an iTunes review that is titled, May the Disney Be With You. And he loved the fact that we have Star Wars and Disney together. Also, Pete of lightsaberrattling.com gave us a 5-star iTunes review stating that heavy doses of Disney and Star Wars, what could be better?
Nothing.
Nothing at all. Exactly what I say. I was very excited by that. His website is lightsaberrattling.com, apparently, so check it out. And Warrior Wyvern on Stitcher gave us 5 stars as well, and loves that the focus of the show is on the fan base. So thank you.
We're here for you.
Absolutely. So as you might have heard last week, we are looking for bloggers.
Attention Skywalkers. This is the anniversary of the release dates of all the Star Wars films, except for the Clone Wars. But episodes 1 through 6 were all released during this week from 1977 through 2005. And we're asking everyone who had seen the films in their initial release and on the first day to please write us in and let us know about your story. Now, last week I had written a story about the time I went to go see Attack of the Clones on May 16th, 2002, which was a really fun night because it was at the Grauman's Chinese Theater. This is the big Star Wars theater that all the films had played in, except for Revenge of the Sith. That's a story for another time. But this is the time when everyone went down in costumes. The 501st, I had my Jango Fett costume. A really, really fun night. So if you had a really fun time watching Star Wars on the big screen on the first day, please let us know. And if you have any other stories, please let us know about those too. Always looking for bloggers to share your fan-related stories.
And in fact, Joe Pittman and David Upchurch already sent in their stories about the first times they had seen Star Wars on film, and Mike McDonald has also agreed to do a little blogging for us as well. And we're also looking for other stories, like you said, as well. So at Darth Taxis on Twitter, he will be doing a blog post about his adventures trying to see Stan Lee over the past weekend at Dallas Comic-Con.
I like this because he's got to make it personal.
Yes.
He's not an easy guy to see, so you know there's going to be an adventure to follow. So at Darth Taxis, we really look forward to hearing your story. Zeroid, Zem21, Starhawk. What do these names mean to you? Well, if you weren't around in the 1970s, then they mean nothing. However, for the first generation of Star Wars fans, they meant everything. These were the toys we were stuck with because Kenner didn't have their line of action figures, playsets, and Dippin' Dots ready just yet. This was a time when many toy companies, such as Ideal, jumped on the bandwagon and began pumping out cheap Star Wars knockoffs.
Here now is Skywalking Through Neverland's East Coast correspondent, Jimmy Pruy, with his new segment, Not Gonna Have It. Jimmy, what do you have for us today that you're not gonna have?
You know, over the years, there's been so many cheap copycat movies, TV shows, and toys that have tried to muscle in on what Star Wars has. Even though they didn't necessarily acquire the proper licensing agreements to do so, and in some cases were taken to court because they created unfair competition with the cheap copycat movies, TV shows, and toys. So with this in mind, I thought it'd be great to do a segment or two that focused in on these copycat offenders.
This phenomenon is still happening to this day.
Definitely. Well, this segment is not going to have it. You know, you can interpret that either way. Either I'm saying these toys or things, products should be banished for all time, or that not going to have it in terms of, well, they're probably too expensive to actually buy now because they're rare and highly sought after collectibles.
Now, is there one line of toy that you're going to focus on today?
Definitely. The Starhawk and the Star Team. But let me, before I start tearing down, let me just do a little building up and talk about an earlier version and talk about the Zeroids, which were a toy made back in the 60s.
I love these toys.
I recently discovered these toys. I didn't even know about them until you had me kind of start doing some research on this. And they were released by the Ideal Toy Corporation in 1967. Ideal had been making robot characters like these for decades, and they really excelled at making robots that had mechanical moving parts, flashing lights, and far-out sound effects. If you had one of these robots as a kid, you were the king of your block.
Now, what does this have to do with Star Wars exactly? Or are we getting to that?
I'm doing the great build-up. I'm also doing a little tribute here to the old style of toys.
Okay.
Which was more kind of a staple of the 50s and 60s as opposed to the 70s when, you know, everything went into another gear. So just going on a little bit more about the Zeroids. Zeroids sold for about $5 back in the day and had two rubber tractor treads that allowed them to move forwards and backwards.
At $5 back in the 60s,
that was like $50.
Like $50.
And apparently, these electronic toys, they could go backwards and forwards. They had sensors that allowed them to reverse their direction if they hit a wall or something like that. Eventually, 5 Zeroids were made, and we'll get to the Star Wars talk in just one moment. 5 Zeroids were made in this line of toys, and you could get Zeroid Zurek, the blue robot, Zeroid Zintar, the silver robot, Zeroid Zemo, the red robot, Zeroid Zobor, the bronze robot, and finally, the last of the lot, Zeroid Zog, the green robot, who came with a small red solar ball that lit up and spun around in his little robot hands.
Wow.
Now, I'm not sure, but I think the Zeroids were made until the early 70s, because look what was on the shelves in the early 70s, in the mid-70s. You had Legos. Legos took over everything. You had the $6 million man action figures and those accessories and the other toys. You had the Mego action figures. You had Evel Knievel toys, which was a toy line made by the Ideal Toy Corporation. And so this new wave of toys, this new era of awesome toys had arrived. And I think it must have just forcibly removed the likes of the Zeroids from store shelves. The reign of the boxy, bulky, mechanized robot had finally come to an end, or had it. There was a little movie that was released in 1977. You might have heard of it, Star Wars.
I'm not familiar with that.
Well, Rich, come on. Where have you been?
That's the one with Captain Kirk and the robot that goes, danger, danger.
What show are we on right now?
But Star Wars was a little movie that actually made a lot of money. Well, actually, before Star Wars was released, they had some marketing director from 20th Century Fox.
Wait a minute, there was a before Star Wars? My mind is blanking out before May 25th, 1977. And yeah, fill me in here.
I know, I felt like I came to life on that day as well. But somebody from Fox created a mailer brochure about the new Star Wars movie that was about to be released. And in this mailer brochure, which was an attempt to interest toy manufacturers into producing Star Wars toys, they included pictures and descriptions of what Star Wars was going to be. So naturally, being one of the bigger toy companies, the Ideal Toy Corporation was also given one of these Star Wars mailer brochures, and in a written response, Ideal's position was made quite clear. You got to listen to this. The text that I found from this website called legal.com, and at their site, you can read a ton of old court cases, among which you can even read the details of the case of Ideal Toy Corporation versus Kenner, 20th Century Fox, and Lucasfilm that occurred on December 27, 1977. But you'll listen to this text, and that website's great because the details are amazing about how they go into each side disputing its case and whatnot. But listen to this. In response to whether Ideal would be interested in paying a license fee to produce Star Wars-related toys, Ideal expressed this. Respectfully, Ideal believes that science fiction films are chancy. Films themselves are risky as merchandising properties because of their short release life. Furthermore, the characters and imagery in Star Wars appeared to be, quote, ordinary property.
Don't.
I knew you weren't going to take that too well. And all the elements of Star Wars had, quote, been done before.
What?
Such as...
Who are these people?
Such as the Forbidden Planet, I guess, is what they're thinking of. Yeah, that was Star Wars back in the early 60s. Boo! Ideal Toys. Boo! There's so many I'm not going to have it moments to touch on here that I don't know where to start. I mean, Ideal, I'm so disappointed. You made Evel Knievel toys, so I'll always love you. But really? Really? Way to be a bad forecaster of upcoming trends and fads. And, oh, by the way, Kenner, at least they knew what they were doing. Kenner expressed interest in the license fee and entered into an agreement with 20th Century Fox in April of 1977. So that was a little bit before the movie was about to be released. Yay, Kenner. As documented in the federal court case, the Ideal Toy Company really was very interested in capitalizing on the upcoming Star Wars craze. And naturally, when Star Wars had its big opening day weekend, Ideal doubled their efforts to make sure that they could get something sci-fi on the shelves as quickly as possible.
Wow.
And here's what they did. They must have had toy mold pickers working around the clock, searching desperately to find different combinations of old toys that they could fashion into the likes of Star Wars characters. Somebody finally stumbled upon it, and it was our old friend from the Zeroids, Zeroid Zog.
There you go. Which color was he?
He was the green one.
Okay.
And he became Ideal's pick. He got picked off of the scrap heap of retired toys, got recycled, repurposed, repainted. They changed his head. His neck and head were severed. Got decapitated and fitted him with a dome head, which, is, reminiscent of R2-D2's dome head.
Right.
They tore out the mechanical parts that allowed Zog to move forward and back. They tore out the sound effects box because it would be cheaper to build, obviously. They dropped the name Zog and changed his name to just Zeroid. So they changed a little something here, a little something there, and abracadabra, Ideal had its R2-D2 impersonator. Ready for the shelves come Christmas time.
All right, you know what? Let's wrap up this segment here, because the next segment goes really into the Zeroid line, and this becomes a whole new cult of Zeroids. So let's wrap it up here, and then when we pick it up next time, we can go into our favorite toys that weren't Star Wars, the Zeroids. All right, well, Jim, thank you very much. That was quite educational. I know for me it was very, very nostalgic, and I remember playing with those toys. You and I, 7, 8 years old. We didn't have Star Wars toys. We had the Zeroids. And we look forward to your next segment of Not Gonna Have It.
Thanks, Richard and Sarah.
So last week was a big week for our new segment, Star Wars on TV. There were 3 references that we caught. There could have been more, but we caught these 3. Now, normally, we hear these shout-outs on shows like Parks and Rec and How I Met Your Mother and, surprisingly, Glee. But not this week.
First, we have a clip from the season finale of Once Upon a Time from Sunday, May 11th. Check it out.
Just when I thought the clothes here couldn't get any worse.
You might not be able to move, Swan, but you've cut quite the figure in that dress.
Greetings. I'm King Midas, father of the bride. Who do I have the honor to welcome into my home?
I'm Prince...
Charles. Prince Charles. And I'm Princess... Leia.
An honor to have you both. Announce Prince Charles and Princess Leia.
Nice.
That is awesome.
It's so much fun to hear a show like this that's kind of period in a way.
Mm-hmm.
Give a Star Wars shout out.
That was really hilarious because they were back in time on that show.
Yeah, and apparently this king had no idea who Princess Leia was. Shame on him. Well, okay, he does come from another time, another realm, so he's got an out there.
Yeah. What was fun about this is I was seeing the tweets come in from the East Coast about this show, and they were all saying, Star Wars reference on Once Upon a Time, Star Wars reference on OUAT, oh my gosh. And I'm like going, what is it? So when we finally sat down to watch it, I got my Star Wars reference. Luckily, none of them spoiled it for me. They didn't put any spoilers.
Now, I know our new friends, Jeff and Colleen, can correct me on this. They're from the Once Upon a Time podcast.
Mm-hmm.
I think this may be the only second Star Wars reference?
No, there's been more. In fact, they've talked about it, and Adam Horowitz, the creators of the show, are big Star Wars fans.
I know someone had a Darth Vader ringtone. But
yeah.
I'm not recalling any other...
Well, you know what? We'll have to ask them. What do you think, Colleen and Jeff? Where are the Star Wars references?
Then we had a reference pop up on Modern Family on their May 14th episode. Check this out.
Can you see better in here?
A little, but those drops are really hanging on. I'm like Han Solo right when he came out of the carbonite. Really nothing?
I get it, Star Trek.
You're breaking my heart.
Save it for Luke, he'll love that.
Oh.
Okay, so the funny thing about that is his son is named Luke.
And when Luke was born, he had so much fun saying, "Luke, I am your father."
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So Modern Family's had a good handful of Star Wars references. Remember that episode where Mitch had a Luke Skywalker doll,
Okay.
and Cam says, "Which one?" And Mitch says, "The one in the shorty robe." I don't know why they call it a shorty. It's the Luke Tatooine tunic.
Yeah.
Shorty robe? I don't know. But
maybe they didn't see the pants?
I don't know.
I don't know.
But, highest kudos to them for once again giving Star Wars a nice call out.
Now, the final Star Wars on TV reference from this week comes from Big Bang Theory. And we finally had a reference where they weren't making fun of Star Wars.
Yeah, it's a little too late, Big Bang.
I know. Well, this was on their season finale on May 15th.
You've seen Freaky Friday. Sometimes little kids end up in big person bodies.
Leonard, we can't protect him forever.
I know, but...
He'll be okay. You taught him well, Padawan.
Good Lord. Padawan's the student, not the teacher.
Seriously, let him go.
So, Penny knew what a Padawan was, and she didn't insult herself for knowing that.
Right.
Like she did in the last episode when she kept wondering how she knew all these references.
Yeah. It was like she's a totally different person.
Yeah.
Ugh. Oh, that bugs me.
Finally, they're doing a Star Wars reference where they're not making fun of it.
Mm-hmm.
Now keep that trend going, Big Bang. You have 3 more seasons. So those are the Star Wars references that we caught this week. If we missed some, please let us know. If you have a clip or link, please let us know that too. Or if you have seen any Disney references, let us know. Because Sarah doesn't think...
Oh, I know a Disney reference. In the finale of Once Upon a Time, right
on.
at the very beginning...
That doesn't count.
The shot starts with a Mickey doll. No, it was like a blatant,
it was a commercial.
It was hilarious. But if you're with
Product
it.
placement.
Yep, it was awesome. People were tweeting about that as well.
Yeah. So once again, if you have any other Star Wars or Disney references on TV shows that we had missed, please let us know. We love this kind of stuff, and we love sharing it. Countdown to Star Wars weekends.
How
many more days?
Well, technically, it's already started.
There's 363 more days until next Star Wars weekend.
No. You can't start counting down until the last Star Wars weekend is over.
Fair enough.
Yes. So it's happening now.
So you know what? We can check this one off of our list.
That's true.
And delete.
Delete.
It is happening. Do you know what is not happening?
What?
Star Wars weekends at Disneyland.
Arg.
So everyone, thanks once again for those who have gone to our Facebook campaign and liked us. It really has jumped up since the last week. And
yeah, I think it just hit 700 likes.
Woohoo! So always need more. So once again, go to facebook.com/bring Star Wars weekends to Disneyland.
But we have something to look forward to next year in April. Celebration Anaheim 2015.
Going on April 16th through the 19th. 16, 17, 18, 19. 4 days.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So Star Wars Celebration is always 4 days. It's the D23 Expo that's only 3 days, and it's still annoying.
I was looking at it 16th through the 19th. For a second there, I thought 3 days, and I thought, did they get rid of a day? No. 4 fun-filled days.
4 crazy, awesome days.
And to anyone on the outside, don't try to contact me those days because I will not be answering my phone unless it's within the Star Wars community.
Yes.
So how many more days until Celebration Anaheim?
Well, as of May 20th, there are 331 days. I know. Now, if you're planning on heading out here to LA, please contact Autumn Barnes at mymickeyvacation.com and mention Skywalking Through Neverland to get a special deal. Once again, that's mymickeyvacation.com, and she will help you and hold your hand and plan that trip for you and book all your fast passes, and it'll be awesome. You won't have to do any thinking.
Yeah, I don't like that part of it.
I kind of like that part of it.
Yeah, well, I want to focus on just getting there.
I know.
And
I'm
all the
a
other
planner.
stuff, all the little meals and the other stuff that gets you
The
through
meals
day.
that I have booked, you realize that I have about 5 meals booked for us already at Star Wars Weekends.
Nice. I think Autumn Barnes will even tell you what kind of sunblock to wear.
That's true.
Yeah, she's really thorough.
Once again, mymickeyvacation.com.
And right on the heels of Star Wars Celebration Anaheim, we have Disney Expo, Disney D23 Expo.
Yes, that is August 14th through 16th, 2015. And I'm really hoping they add an extra day.
That's already set.
No.
I know.
Bad.
You know what? Put that in the comment jar.
I have, believe me. I did, actually. But as of May 20th, there are 451 days. That seems like a long time.
Yeah, that's going to fly by.
Yeah.
It's already the end of May, so the summer is going to be a blur. Before you know it, it's going to be January again.
Yep.
January 2015.
Yay.
So we'll be in the same year, striking distance to Celebration Anaheim, Disney D23 Expo, and Star Wars Episode VII. Do you feel better now?
Kind of. Because there's really only 577 days until Star Wars Episode VII.
Well, as of May 20th.
Mm-hmm.
577 more days.
And did you see the tweets go out of the first shot?
It's officially shooting. There's a Star Wars film shooting as we speak.
Yes.
What are they shooting?
Did you see the shot of the clapboard?
Oh yeah.
That went.
Joey Pittman sent that in.
Mm-hmm.
And
yeah,
thanks,
he posted
Joey.
that for us. Thank you, Joey.
That was one of those shots that make you go, it's a reality now.
Yeah, and then
it is happening.
I saw another tweet. I can't remember who tweeted it, but they posted a picture. I think they must have been from England. They posted a picture of the side of the building at
the Pinewood.
At Pinewood Studios.
It has the big Roman numeral
There was
7.
7, yeah. The Roman numeral 7 on it. Oh, that's so cool. Oh, it's so exciting. I love Twitter. I love it.
I love it now.
I love the fact that everything is happening and you can be a part of it even without being there. Like that, it's just amazing to me.
You'd think they wouldn't want to advertise which building they're going to be shooting Episode 7 is.
Well, who knows if maybe that was just the front of the studios itself.
Not like the actual soundstage.
Yeah, well.
You're just asking for trouble.
It's true.
I'm sure security is extremely tight.
Yeah. If you were there, you'd be thrown in jail every 2 seconds. You'd be trying to get in.
Yeah, they don't want anyone tweeting anymore about AT-AT foots.
Yes. Thank you, everyone, for joining us for episode 31 of Skywalking Through Neverland. Speaking of, this podcast is just flying by. I can't believe it's been over 30 episodes.
It's been 31 episodes.
Yeah. And now our next podcast is coming out Wednesday, May 28th. Might be a little bit later in the day, too. So just watch for that. And we will be recapping our Star Wars Weekends experience. And also, unfortunately, a day after we leave Disney World, the Seven Dwarfs Mine Train ride will open.
Why didn't they time that better?
I know, right? But we do have Dave Parfit of AdventuresByDaddy.com to review that Seven Dwarfs Mine Train experience that he had.
And as always, many, many more fun segments and surprises on our next episode, including the winner of our Star Wars giveaway exclusive.
Our Star Wars Weekends giveaway exclusive.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so when we go there, hey, it might be Star Wars duct tape.
Yeah, so what we're doing, we're getting all of the responses by everyone, and we're seeing what is really the favorite item.
Yeah. Well, of course, and even on that picture that's on our Facebook page, there's actually a ton more items that now we've seen, including Rebels t-shirts and popcorn buckets. What are the Darth Vader popcorn buckets and Stormtrooper popcorn buckets? Oh my goodness.
A lot of popcorn to consume over the next couple of days.
Yes, and I will be consuming that happily. And I also want to make you aware that t-shirts, Skywalking Through Neverland t-shirts are now available for sale both on our website and right through our Facebook page. So actually, it's kind of cool. I was so excited I figured out how to put this store on our Facebook page. Like, I'm tech savvy. Yeah, you can go to our Facebook page, click on the shop tab. That's right under our banner. And bam, you're at our store. And t-shirts are $19.99. And you can choose whether you're getting a male or female shirt. You can choose whether to have fairy wings or a Boba Fett jetpack on the back.
Either shirt will get you to where you're going.
Yes, you can skywalk through Neverland with either wings or a jetpack. Your choice. Now, of course, you can always contact us on Twitter at SkywalkingPod, or you can contact us through Facebook, facebook.com/Skywalking Through Neverland, and as always, by email, share@skywalkingthrough-neverland.com. And we welcome all your comments, suggestions, whatever you want.
Blogs, your stories, your photos,
yeah,
your convention stories.
Mm-hmm.
Once again, we're here for you. We want to share what you, the fan, are doing.
Yes.
Because Star Wars and Disney can't live in a bubble. It needs you to support it.
Yeah. Now, with this giveaway going on right now, the way you can earn the most entries into the giveaway to get these Star Wars Weekends items is to give us iTunes and Stitcher reviews. So if you give us both of those, you get 20 entries, which is great. That's good.
20?
Kudos for you. Yeah.
Awesome.
10 entries each.
It's like American Idol.
I know.
Everyone gets like 100 votes.
I know. So now is a great time to review us on iTunes or Stitcher. And we are always giving shout outs on the podcast. So we love to get your feedback and get in touch with us. We love to hear what you think.
And remember,
Neverland on Alderaan.
My voice just cracked. I feel like Peter Brady. And we're out.
When it's time to change, then it's time to change. Don't bite the
Thank you, everyone, for listening to Skywalking Through Neverland. All materials submitted become the property of Skywalking Through Neverland and are subject for use on our show. You can help support Skywalking Through Neverland by posting about us on Facebook, Twitter, or just telling another fanboy or girl. We would also really, really appreciate a 5-star review on iTunes. A link to our iTunes page can be found on skywalkingthrough-neverland.com. This podcast was created and produced by Richard and Sarah Woloski. Segment producers are David Scale, Richard Woloski, and Sarah Woloski. Graphic design and website design by Sarah Woloski. Creative consultant, Mark Agushwitz. Technical advisor, Peter Heitman. Skywalking Through Neverland is not affiliated at all with Lucasfilm Limited, Disneyland Resorts, or the Walt Disney Company. All names, sounds, and related items of Star Wars and Disney are registered, trademarked, and copyright Lucasfilm Limited and the Walt Disney Company and their respective trademark and copyright holders. All rights reserved. Skywalking Through Neverland is intended for entertainment and information purposes only. Hopefully, we have entertained you. All original content of this podcast is the intellectual property of Hey Hey Entertainment, copyright 2014, all rights reserved. No part of this show may be repurposed, reproduced, redistributed, or rebroadcasted without the written permission of Hey Hey Entertainment.
Sorry, all that had to be said.
And remember, write that iTunes review.
Goodbye. Live long and prosper. Wait, sorry. May the Force be with you.
And cut. That's a wrap.